Colorado Avalanche Hockey on Altitude is brought to you by Shortline Subaru. Save money, drive better. Connect for Health. You might not think you need health insurance. We all do. Get yours today at connectforhealthcolorado.com. Jeep, and unique brand of freedom you'll only find in the full line of Jeep vehicles. Visit Jeep.com. And by Bicycle Village. Huge holiday specials going on now, including their famous Hide a Bike program. The top-rated staff will assemble and hide your bike until Christmas. Tonight, the Avalanche in the province of Manitoba to face the Winnipeg Jets for the second time this season. These have been close games between these two clubs. Looking forward to this one. Let's set you for the night and give you the Ford starting lineup. And Peter, tell me about the starting goaltender.
Well, sort of an interesting story on both sides. The Avalanche coming right back with Semyon Varlamov, who suffered that overtime loss to the Colorado Avalanche. Boy, was he upset after that game. This man is a competitor. He did not want to talk about that game. At the other end, Michael Hutchinson, and what a story he has been for these Winnipeg Jets. Off to a terrific start.
Has not played the majority of the games. That belongs to Andre Pavelec. But when Hutchinson has been in, Peter, got the best goals against average in the National Hockey League.
He lost his first start to the LA Kings. Since then, 4-0-2.
Bouncing puck as we start our play here in the first period. Ends up coming to the Winnipeg Jets. Frolik moves it around the boards. Held in, far point. Dustin Byfuglien keeps it in play. Smacked to the front of the net. Handoff. Shot. Bouncing puck. And it bounced away from Kane out towards center. And Byfuglien with his first hit of the game. And the recipient was Nick Holden. And because of some injuries, they've got 3 top 6 defensemen out for this Winnipeg Jets team. They have moved Dustin Byfuglien back to play defense. Now, he certainly has done that in his career. He's been back and forth and has played both. But, boy, I tell you what, he's a guy you got to keep your eyes peeled on when you're on the ice.
And the first scoring opportunity, Evander can't quite knock that in midair. And Mike, from where I'm sitting, you were talking about the play. I saw Byfuglien coming across, and it was like a mountain moving across. And Holden, fortunately, was far enough away from the boards and saw him in time where he could sort of brace himself.
After the face-off, puck wrestled along the far side wall. Stays inside the zone, scooped out to center, and Evander Kane moves out to center ice. Pushed it in. Evander Kane, who was drafted, the player after Matt Duchene, was tripped up, and there will be a penalty. And this one comes just 1 minute and 4 seconds in to our first period scoreless game. And there's a little conversation going on between Stewart and Iginla. And already we've seen a hit. We've seen a couple of players yelling at each other, and we've also seen a penalty as Carl Stollery, the defenseman for the Avalanche, headed into the box, a boarding call.
Well, Mike, this is more of a trip, I believe, because he got the stick underneath. Kane was going in. The referee made the call, but yeah, you're right, Mike. There's some push and shove with Stewart for Winnipeg and Iginla. I mean, they had a real heated argument going on in the blue line.
Power play for Winnipeg. Boarding is the call officially, as Byfuglien's got to come out to center ice to pick up the puck. This Winnipeg Jets team, well, statistically, Peter, they're not good on the power play. At home especially, they are next to last. They were 0 for 4 against the Avalanche first time they met earlier this season. After the puck, scooped around the boards. This is the second time the Avalanche have been here in Winnipeg already this season. They'll also hook up again next week in Denver, next Thursday.
Yeah, when we show you the Central Division standings in the wild card spot, these are big games.
Nice pass, loose puck, broken up by the Avalanche. Alex Tanguay getting a lot of penalty killing time this season and so effective at it. As you told us recently, Peter, Patrick Waugh just loves his hockey smarts.
Yeah, he's able to read the play. Some really good offensive players can't read defensively. He can.
Holden back to get to the puck. Holden started tonight as a forward, getting a little time defensively on the penalty kill. Back towards the point. Held in by Postma, sends it far side. Shifley, very talented young player for this Winnipeg Jets team, number 55, chasing the puck to the corner. Another 55 out there. McLeod sends it towards the point, fumbled by Postma, and he's got to come back into the neutral zone, backing up to the blue line. Fires the pass across for Trouba. Well, what a story he is. This young man had 3 points in the last game for the Winnipeg Jets against Edmonton. And he's on everybody's list when you talk about terrific young defenseman in the National Hockey League. He's number 8 for the Winnipeg Jets.
And seemingly in his second year finding himself. He had 4 points the first 23 games. He got 6 the last 3.
Wheeler lost the puck to O'Reilly. And I'll tell you what, great job of penalty killing by the Avalanche. Stollery's out of the penalty box. And the Jets 0 for 1 tonight, 0 for 5 this season against the Avalanche when on the power play. We got a whistle. Play is stopped. An icing call on the Winnipeg Jets. As we take a peek at the winning combo for tonight, brought to you by Blackjack Pizza.
Well, I think first, back-to-back games. You got to be aware of it. I think we saw right off the bat that Patrick Roy didn't put Johnson and Haight out there to kill that penalty. They played between the two of them 53 minutes last night, and the physical play. No question about it. The Winnipeg averages here at home about 28 hits a game. That's a lot. And they're going to come out and they're going to try and take the energy out of the Avalanche by being physical.
Well, they end up, I guess it wasn't an icing call. They had the face-off in the neutral.
It was offside.
And so the puck is shot down the ice into the Colorado zone. Snatched up by McKinnon. Quick pass up ice. Ginla sends it across for Tyson Barrie. He's got to twist back in to the Colorado zone. Makes a pass across for Zach Redmond. He's originally drafted by the Atlanta Thrashers, who of course ultimately moved here to Winnipeg and made his debut in the National Hockey League as part of this franchise. Signed as a free agent by the Avalanche during this offseason. Boy, has he paid some dividends for Colorado. He's been terrific. McKinnon trying to dart out of the corner, reversing. Trouba staying with him. The pass in front slowed up by Ginla, and then a little pushing and shoving in front of the net. This had gone on earlier between Ginla and Mark Stewart. They were the two that were jawing each other earlier in this period. Well, they get going again, and they are separated by the linesman. There is Stewart. He's a tough customer as well.
It's interesting, Mike, isn't it? I mean, when you look back at the 6 games that these two clubs have played, remember 3 years ago they didn't play each other at all because it was a 48-game schedule, and the idea was that they were still in the East, even though they were playing here in Winnipeg. The last 6 games these two clubs have played, every one has been a 1-goal game. How about this one? The last 5 have been in overtime,
including of course, the game that we've had this season, which Winnipeg won in the extra period. Shot off the chest of Varlamov. Tomas Ducir shoots it around the boards, cut off by the Jets. Shot gets blocked. Played back towards the point. Postma slides it across. Shot through bodies by Adam Party. Got blocked. Held in by Party. Back towards Postma. Shot, save, rebound, scored by the Winnipeg Jets. Chris Thorburn gets the rebound, and for Thorburn, Peter, that is his very first point of the season, and of course his first goal of the season.
This is the fourth line that did not play an awful lot last game. Well, they get some ice time tonight, and right off the bat, good job. They had bodies in front. You see the Avalanche, unfortunately, they were all watching the puck on the one side. No one turned to pick up the open man on the far side. You see everybody's shoulders, Mike, we're seeing numbers. No one's coming at him. And Thorburn, that was a goal scorer shot, though. I mean, he waited and he just fired at top shelf.
It goes to show you, Peter, you and I have had this conversation before. Even guys on the fourth line don't seem like they get a lot of minutes, and they have their job to do. To play in this league, you have to be so skilled.
Oh, you watch practice, and those fourth line players are able to do things. It's the ability to do things at speed that separate the good players and the great players, and those players that maybe don't get as much ice time.
So it's a 1-0 lead for the Winnipeg Jets. They score that first goal. A chance in front. Shot, save made by Varlamov. Jets with the puck as we give you our Jeep scoring summary. Chris Thorburn, first goal of the season for him at 4:31. Postma and Party, the two defensemen, get the assist. And Peter, those two defensemen, they were called out after the last game. That The coaching staff felt they didn't have a good game last time, and boy, they've come ready to play tonight.
And even though they did win the hockey game, they felt that they had not, especially with the injuries. When there's injuries in a situation, you have to step up.
Pass across for Holden. He winds and starts to shoot, but the play has been halted with an offside call.
This is an interesting play here because there's a couple of different rules that can be put into place. Now that if the puck goes in like that, when an Avalanche player has knocked a Winnipeg Jet player down, a referee here, even if that puck goes in, can say that that counts, even though the net is clearly not completely set on the ice.
Stewart pushed the puck up the boards, waved that ahead into the Colorado zone. Redmond picks up, makes a nice pass, and shot down the ice by Holden. Puck revolves around the boards. Kane shoots it across the rink. Bounces free for Frolik. His shot glanced wide. Kane passed behind the net for Frolik. Bouncing through the near face-off circle, controlled by Winnipeg. To the far side point for Trouba. Gonna fight off a check. Kane comes up with the puck, makes a pass across for Stewart. He shoots, tipped on net, save made by Varlamov, and he covers the puck. Well, Peter, the Jets have had the first 8 shots of the game. It's 8-0 in terms of the shots for Winnipeg. They lead it 1-0 on Thorburns' goal. Let's take a look at who is in the groove. Brought to you by Groove Subaru and Alex Tanguay, Peter. Well, he's been grooving all season long, but boy, last night, what a goal.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting, Mike? I went by the stick rack today. He has the longest stick of any of the players, except by an inch, of Gannon and Johnson. And they're much taller than he is. He has a really long stick, and the lie of it is very high, meaning the angle to which the blade and the shaft come together is, really interesting how low it is. Probably how high the shaft is, so he has it right in front of his skates.
And isn't the general consensus in hockey a shorter stick gives you better stick handling ability?
That's the general thing,
yeah.
But it is sort of completely against what you would think most people would have.
Pass over the line, coming to the slot. Trouba turns, holds the puck, bounced by Iginla, turned to the corner, centering try by Ladd to the side of the Avalanche net, and it is covered.
Well, I think for the Colorado Avalanche right now, Mike, they're trying to find their legs. And, Patrick Ross shifted the lines up a little bit in tonight's game. He has Holden up with Duchesne and Tanguay on that one line. So he's looking to balance things out and get, not just get through the first period, but, get everybody skating in this first period.
Now it's a line, Peter. This line combination is Talbot, Briere, and O'Reilly, all of whom could play center.
Yep.
And take faceoffs. Eisenberry with the puck. Avs looking for their first shot on net. And trailing in the game by a score of 1-0. Thorburn from Postma and Party at 4:31. Adam Party has the puck. Number 2 for Winnipeg. Up ice for Scheifele. Stripped away. Briere shoots the puck in. Avs get onside. Turned around the end boards for Party to take. Pass up ice. Scheifele to center ice. And Lowry dumps the puck in. Scheifele chasing for Winnipeg. Redmond will get to it first, but it comes out in front of the net. Swept away just in time by Colorado. Then back between the circles. Picked up by Redmond. Out to center ice with a pass for O'Reilly. Shot in around the wall. Hutchinson will handle the puck behind the net. Being harassed by Holden. And the Jets move to center ice. Carried through center by Perreault. Offside on the Winnipeg Jets.
This is an absolutely fascinating number. You look at the number of times that Winnipeg has scored first. This is 8 consecutive games that they've done that, right? But 18 tied with Pittsburgh. But look at the number to the left. Tampa Bay scored 97 goals. Pittsburgh scored 82. That was only their 56th goal. And yet they have done it, scored that all-important, or very important first goal, 18 times. The Avalanche, on the other side,
8 in a row.
8 in a row, have only done it 9 times all year, and when they do score it, they're only 4 and 5. So they have been a baffling team, the Avalanche, this year, with going sort of against the flow in certain situations, and numbers that for years worked one way are not working that way for the Avalanche.
Pass towards Kane, poke checked away. Tanguay holds the puck. What a nice pass for Duchesne. He shoots, and off the blocker of Hutchinson. Behind the net. Quick pass up the middle for Kane. Kane check. Keeps the puck out to center. Knocked back in by the Avalanche. As puck picked up in the corner. Ben Chiarot just called up from the minors. Again, a lot of injuries back on that blue line for the Winnipeg Jets. And Chiarot just up from the American Hockey League. Pass off the boards. Trouba. And Iginla going after the puck. Iginla ties up Trouba. McKinnon freed up the puck. Trouba got it back. Quick pass. And the Jets on the move out to center. The captain, Andrew Ladd, lobs it around the boards. Skims up the far side. Cut off by Landeskog. Makes a pass that hit a skate. Stays inside the zone. Behind the slot. Wheeler gave it away. And the Avalanche have got a chance. Pass up ice for Iginla. He walks in. He shoots. He scores! He used the defenseman as a screen and took a shot. And the Avalanche have tied the game on Jarome Iginla's 5th goal of the season.
Just an absolutely perfect shot. This was a little bit of a scramble play at the blue line. You weren't exactly sure what was going to happen, but once Iginla got it, Stewart really backed in. And he almost begged for Iginla to take that extra step what he did, and then just a perfect shot up top. And the Avalanche, like a little against the flow. Now it's tied at 1. Big goal for Iginla, his first goal on the road this year. Lots of good things from that goal.
On just the second shot of the period for the Avalanche, it counts at 9:19. Iginla's 5th of the year. Gabriel Landeskog gets the assist, and this game is tied up at 1. And this is the Winnipeg Jets team. Now, they have come out strong to start this game, no doubt about that. But, Peter, statistically, they don't score a lot of goals. They are the second worst goal-scoring team in the NHL.
Yeah, the Avalanche know that it's going to probably be a low-scoring game, but if they could get to 3, they give themselves a heck of a shot in this game.
Well, they got to do it against a goaltender that has not given up many goals, but a perfect shot by Iginla. Not only the second shot of the period for Colorado, has tied this one up at 1 and changes the complexion of the game. As Winnipeg all over the Avs to start things, and the crowd into it, excited, but now settled back in their seats as the Avalanche get a goal from Iginla to take the lead. Dumped in, and the puck rolls towards Varlamov. That took a funny hop and a roll, and Varlamov steers it. And the Avalanche are starting their breakout with 9:35 to go in the first period. Game tied at 1. Pass. Took all the way down the ice, skims around the boards. Byfuglien swung it back, reversed it towards the near side. Bounced up off the boards, out to center, where it's handled by Carl Stollery. Shoots it through the middle zone. Played back into the corner. Handled by Redmond. Shoots it around the boards. Byfuglien charging after the puck. He turns, he shoots. It was slowed up. Shot back behind that. That was Byfuglien who got involved. And the Jets have the puck again. Up towards the point. Held in. Chiarot shot. Hit a body in front. Swung at by a couple of players. Comes down to the ice. O'Reilly able to flip a backhander out to center ice. Chiarot blocked it. And then Lowry for Winnipeg shoots it back into the Avalanche end. And behind the net, Stollery. Hand off to Redmond. Up through the middle, down the ice. No icing. Handled by Hutchinson. Handoff goes to Trouba. And the Jets defenseman carrying out to center ice. Runs into a little bit of trouble. Makes the pass, though. Gets it over the line. Kane turns and shoots. Save. Rebound. Shot. What a beautiful save by Varlamov. And the rebound comes all the way out towards center. Shot back in by Stewart. Another big-time save by Varlamov. He has faced 10 shots already in this period. Long pass for Tanguay. Bounced away. Byfuglien sends it ahead. Out to center ice for Frolik. Turned it back behind him. And the pass goes across ice for Byfuglien. Turns, waits, fires the pass, doesn't connect. Shot back the other way by the Avalanche. And into the Winnipeg zone. 8 minutes to go in the first period. 1-1 game. Played off the boards by Chiarot. Got it back. Skimmed it around the end boards. Byfuglien reaches for it. Then lifts the puck out to center ice. Jets chasing, but the Avs intercept. Comes back through the middle for Chiarot. Shoots the puck into the Colorado end. After it, Gennon in the corner. Gets checked by Ladd. The puck squeezes free. Behind the net. This is the big line for Winnipeg. Pass across. Shot. Oh, baby. What a save by Varlamov. That looked like a short goal, and Varlamov reached back with the glove and robbed him. What a save. It is still 1-1 thanks to Semyon Varlamov's glove. Here it is.
Mike, I did not like how that looked. And then they showed the replay, and watch where the puck, watch the black right by the water bottle on the. This is the look the referee had. You can see how there's no way that he could say that was in, so he waved it off. But here is the second look. You watch him reach back right here, and the momentum of the puck right there. But I'm always wrong. You see,
I think you're wrong here. Well, we're waiting for the announcement. It's obviously under review. The referee, you can see the referee on the far side saying no goal.
Here it is again. This is what they'll blow up. And remember, they can Mike, blow it up.
Following video review, it has been determined that the goaltender's glove was behind the line and we have a good goal.
Well, it looked like a spectacular save, and it really was.
And it was.
Ends up being a goal just with that momentum of that puck. His glove went into the net. Now, they have to be able to see that puck go in, and they did. After the review happened in Toronto, and so it is ruled a goal for Winnipeg.
They're showing it now on the big screen at center ice, and not a lot of argument from the Avalanche. But boy, that was a 10-beller, wasn't it, as far as the save goes?
He's had a couple in this game already. Jets on the move out in the center. They now have the lead back. It's 2-1 in favor of Winnipeg. And this is the team, they don't average much more than what they've got right now this season. But they've scored twice in this period. 11-2 shot advantage for the Jets. Pushed ahead by Halachuk into the Colorado zone. We give you our scoring summary on the second goal. Brian Little, assisted by Blake Wheeler. And for Little, his 9th goal of the season. And this is a reuniting of 3 guys on that line, Wheeler, Ladd, and Little. It was put together again, just kind of almost a desperation point into the game for Paul Maurice. And boy, when those 3 guys are out there, that line, if they're clicking, they are tough to stop.
Well, especially against the Avalanche. I mean, the Avalanche stopped Wheeler last game.
Duchesne coming in. He shoots. That time Stewart was able to block it, put it into the corner. Tanguay centers. There's a chance, and a glove save made by the goaltender Michael Hutchinson on Erik Johnson's try.
Well, Erik Johnson jumps into the middle. Hutchinson's an interesting guy. He last year he took the St. John's Ice Dogs all the way to the AHL Calder Cup Finals with Zach Redmond, one of the defensemen on that team. And Redmond was saying, I mean, he is big, he's strong, he's very aggressive, and he's challenging for that #1 job here in Winnipeg.
Shot save made by Hutchinson, and you don't see it a lot, Peter. He catches right-handed. From behind the net, McKinnon bumped off the puck. Ladd to center ice. That big line out again for Winnipeg. They combined to get a goal last time out. Shot behind the net by Ladd. Poked it free for Little to take. Played back to the point. Stewart keeps it in. Down the slot. Wheeler cuts across, and his shot goes high over the net. Tyson Barrie without a stick. Clearing attempt, knocked down. Another chance for Landeskog. Handoff goes to Gennon. Meanwhile, Barry's been able to pick up the stick that was knocked out of his hands. Shot by McKinnon, tipped up into the screen and out of play. Winnipeg leading the Avalanche 2-1 in the first period. All right, let's ask you the Did You Know question, brought to you, as always, by Stevenson Automotive. What team won the most Avco Cup titles in the World Hockey Association? Was it C1 Winnipeg, C2 Quebec, or C3 Houston? We'll give you an answer during the third period of play. Face-off control by Winnipeg. 5.5 to go. First period. Jets leading this one 2-1. At center ice. Puck knocked down by Postma. Played ahead right in front of the Avalanche bench into the Colorado zone. Cross-ice pass for Vinsur. Handoff goes to Johnson. Lobbed out to center, knocked down with a glove by Thorburn. Smacked ahead by McLeod, the Manitoba native, shooting it into the Winnipeg zone. Slides up the near side. Johnson had it for a moment. Bounced free. Pass blocked. And Slater shoots it back across into his own zone. And Postma racing out to center. Gets to the red line. Shoots the puck in. Avalanche with the puck. 4:40 to go in the period. Dustin Byfuglien backpedaling into his own zone. Sends a pass across. Then rink wide through the middle. Chipped ahead and chased into the corner by Halishuk. He'll get to the puck. Makes the handoff for Scheifele. Lost it. O'Reilly got it back for Colorado. Makes the pass for Briere. Charging at him. Sherratt got the puck to the corner for Lowry. His pass comes winding around the wall. Pass kept in by Scheifele. He shoots. Missed the net. Back around to the near side wing. Scooped around behind the net. Lowry takes it for Winnipeg. Cuts out in front. Centers. Shot by Scheifele. Got blocked. He got knocked down as well. Byfuglien back to get to the puck. Makes the pass through the middle for Kane. He'll chip it ahead. Duchesne cuts off the pass. Aaron Johnson carrying the puck to center ice. Head for Tanguay at the line. Johnson trying to hold it in. Punched out towards center ice by Perreault. He was the hero in last game for Winnipeg. Scored the overtime winner against Edmonton in their come from behind win. Pass to Stewart, the left point. Shot tipped to the nets through a screen, and Varlamov alert, able to make the save. Back to center for Leak. Handoff to Trouba. His pass hit a skate of Tanguay. He'll chase it to the corner. Looking for some support. Gets checked, knocked down. McKinnon arrives for the puck. Up the wing. Landeskog lost it. Carried to center ice by Frolik. Chased down by Landeskog. Gave him a hard hit. And the puck turned back to the Avalanche. Barry through center ice for McKinnon. Over the line. Iginla gave it back to McKinnon. His pass to Iginla broken up. Ladd's pass. Center ice for Blake Wheeler. Through the middle zone. Carried by Byfuglien into the Avalanche end. Cutting across. Given a wide berth. He walks in. He shoots. And the save made by Varlamov. He gets the puck and people just back away.
Well, unless you have him completely covered defensively the right way, he's going to overpower you. But the Avalanche, I mean, they backed up a little bit too much on it here. And all of a sudden you see that he's able to walk right in. He's got the big shot from the point, but you can see the talent. You can see how frustrating it is because sometimes you'll go through, you know, games where his interest sometimes doesn't seem like it's there. But when he is into it, he is really a talented guy.
Peter, he's played defense. Is that just something that's just great to have as an attribute, or does the guy need to make? You have to say, all right, you are a defenseman or you're a forward.
Usually yes, but sometimes there are special guys like Byfuglien that can do it both. I think as he is so talented as a forward, and that's where I think ultimately you'd like to see him play, but he's very effective. You can see tonight. I mean, great outlet pass. I mean, he sees the play, jumps up into the play. So, I mean, it must be nice to be able to do both at that size.
Redmond's pass threaded through for Duchesne. Comes into the Winnipeg zone, knocked down. Tanguay chasing to the corner. The puck comes free. Perreault moves it up off the wall. Cross-ice pass got away from Kane. Stretching for it, but Redmond, nice job to keep that away from Evander Kane. Slammed around the wall by Stollery to the corner. Duchesne got it back. Stollery in the corner. Chased by Frolik, makes the pass for Duchesne. Squeezed out to center in the final 90 seconds of the period. Kane checked at the line by Redmond. That allows Stollery to carry the puck to center ice. Over the line comes Tanguay. Skates into the corner. Then Duchesne goes down to the ice. Trouba moves the puck with a pass to the far side. Carried out to center ice by Frolik. Met by Gennon. Punched ahead by Kane into the Colorado end. Varlamov out to handle the puck. We're in the final minute of our first period of play. Long pass to center ice for Iginla. Squeezed away. Sherratt's pass bounced loose right at the line. Iginla swings the puck through the neutral zone. Barry jumping up for the puck. Separated from the puck with a hit from Blake Wheeler. Wheeler gets the pass. Moves out to center. Launches the puck in. Ladd after it. Checked along the far side wall. Little stripped of the puck by Landeskog. The puck bounced free for the Avalanche. Into the corner. Byfuglien centered it across. Back along the wall. Iginla with the puck. 20 seconds to go in the period. Oh, a hit by Byfuglien on Iginla. Shot. That one bounced off the chest of Varlamov, and then Iginla tries to go after Byfuglien because of the hit. And Landeskog comes in as well. There's going to be a penalty. The referee's got his arm up. Is the penalty going to be the retaliation? Yeah, it's going to be Landeskog going to the penalty box.
Well,
with 11 seconds to go in the period.
I'm going to say it's 2 minutes for interference, but I thought Byfuglien was going to get one because he came up real high on Landeskog. I mean, you're getting crushed on this play. And then Landeskog comes across and just says, you know, I'm not going to put up with that. And that's just good teamwork right there. But at the end, there's the interference.
Well, then you're saying that Byfuglien then got his stick up.
Yeah, he didn't really. I looked at it again. Unfortunately, I couldn't find it. I tried to find something in there.
Power play number 2 for Winnipeg. Shot by Byfuglien. He missed the net. Into the corner. 5 seconds to go. Chance, save, rebound, kick, save made by Varlamov right near the end of the period. But there'll be a carryover power play time for Winnipeg when the second period starts. Now it's just a 1-goal difference here, but Winnipeg outshot the Avs 14-4. Clearly, they came out and tried to do what you would expect from a team that is rested against a team that played the night before.
Absolutely, but if you're the Avalanche, you're a play away. Yep. And that's what it doesn't matter how you get to be down by 1. You just factor you're down by 1. Now we got 40 minutes to get that one back and then get ourselves going in this game.
Well, last night the Avs had a great second period against Calgary. See if they can do that again. Right now, though, they trail 2-1 after 1 period to play. Stay tuned for the Toyota Intermission Report. Winnipeg Jets lead the Avalanche 2-1 after 1 period in Winnipeg, and they've still got 1:49 left of a power play as our second period is about to begin. One of the highlights for the Avalanche during that first period was a nice goal from Jarome Iginla.
Absolutely, and for Jarome Iginla, he breaks that tie that he had with Matt Sundin and Nieuwendyk, Mike, for tied for 21st. Now he is closing in on the big guy, Mike Bossy, at number 20 in the National Hockey League. But he had a goal, he had a hit, he got rocked. Landeskog and Byfuglien right there. Byfuglien, Mike, he just is a presence out there. He came across on Holden early in the game. I mean, he's so strong, he just runs over and around people. He hits Iginla right there. Landeskog gets involved with him. But then here's the big shot from the point. As you mentioned, it would be interesting to see the coaches around the league. Where, if you had Dustin Byfuglien, where would you play him? Would you play him at forward? Would you play him at defense? But look at this, Mike. Now he's chasing Mike Bossy. And I remember playing against Mike Bossy. The man could just not, he just couldn't score. Could not score, pardon me. It was every game he was going to put something in. He was such a pure goal scorer. It was absolutely unbelievable. I think he scored 39 goals his last year. And he retired because he says, I just can't play like this with a bad back. I can't put myself through this kind of 39 or something. It was just like a ridiculous number.
I only had 39.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. Power play in effect for the Winnipeg Jets as the second period commences. It's a carryover. And a penalty called on Landeskog, interference in 1948. And here we go into the second period of play. Talbot clears the puck out to center ice. Winnipeg did nothing on their initial power play early in the first period. Little cuts into the near side boards, back to the point for Ladd. Sends a one-timer whistled wide by Byfuglien. Now he has scored in 2 consecutive games for Winnipeg. Rolled around the wall, Byfuglien manning the point, bounced it and gave it away to Yennin, who clears the puck out of the Colorado zone, sending it down into the Winnipeg end. Picked up behind the net by Byfuglien. Picking up steam as he moves out to center ice. Pass across for Frolik. Chipped into the corner. Kane swats the puck around the boards, waiting Perreault. Gave it back on the wall for Scheifele. Back to the high slot for Perreault. One-timer shot off the side of the net. Tipped into the corner. Frolik with the puck for Winnipeg. They are up 2-1. Shot by Kane, and that one deflected away after the save made by Varlamov. Trouba trying to hold the puck in, couldn't. Tanguay right on him. Coming back, Trouba to get to the puck in the Winnipeg zone. Just 15 seconds to go in the Landeskog penalty. Pass up ice for Scheifele. Checked as he came over the line, caused the play to be offside. And just 11 seconds left in the penalty. Tuesday night, the Avalanche, Kroenke Sports Charities, and the U.S. Marine Corps will host the annual Toys for Tots toy collection. Please bring your donation or new unwrapped toys to the Pepsi Center and hand them off to the U.S. Marines. The doors will be opening at 6 o'clock.
And that is the Avalanche next game, Mike. A very unusual Saturday, Sunday off for the Avalanche. They only have it one other time all season aside from the All-Star break.
Power play is done for Winnipeg. Avalanche 2 for 2 killing penalties. From the point, shot slides through. Backhanded by Frolik behind the net for Kane to take. Vander Kane one-hands the puck to the corner, reversing. Centers out in front. Loose puck, scooped up by Landeskog. And he carries up ice. Sends it across, sending it into the Winnipeg zone. Gets back to get the puck, begin their breakout. Nice 360 move by Scheifele. Lifted to center ice, puck brought in. Down the wing, fouled up on the far side by Halishuk. Shoots it around the boards. Comes skinning along to the near side. Rope back behind the net. Barry shoots it around the boards. Cut off by Lowry. Poked back into the corner. Barry for the Avalanche. Pass stopped by Landeskog. Chopped it behind the net. Barry gets tangled up behind the cage. The puck comes free. In the corner, kicked along by Lowry. Up the wall. Iginla gets checked. Held up. Barry slides the puck behind the net for Stollery. It comes into the slot, all the way back towards the blue line. Iginla. Nice pass and a breakaway chance. And missed high by McKinnon. Picked up by Byfuglien. Pass up ice for Lowry. He gets free. Punches the puck ahead. McLeod trying to shield him away from the puck. It's behind the net. Scooped between the legs by Barry for Hayden. Shoots the puck to center. Cut off by the defenseman. Then McLeod fights him off. Shoots the puck into the Winnipeg zone.
But what a great read by Iginla. I mean, he just turned and fired an 80-foot pass right on the tape for a breakaway.
Little's got a man in front. There's the pass and fanned on by Andrew Ladd. A grab by Wheeler. There's going to be a penalty.
I thought this was it for McKinnon, Mike, because he is 2 for 2 this year on shootouts, and he was wide open. He walked in, good ice to start the period. He just like that. That's it. Oh, I think he did get a piece of it.
He was going top right-hand corner.
That's where he scored, I believe, on both of his shootout goals.
We got matching penalties. McLeod and Ladd each going into the penalty box, into the respective penalty box.
Now for Nathan McKinnon, it has been a little frustrating with his 5 goals so far this season, the chances that he's had. But here's the penalty, Mike. I think that they just said one hook, one held, and let's both go.
So Cody McLeod to the Avalanche penalty box. Andrew Ladd to the Winnipeg Jets penalty box. The Avalanche break out to center. Here comes Duchesne one-on-one with Trouba. Duchesne shoots and then runs right into the goaltender. That's going to be a penalty on Matt Duchesne.
Well, this is one of those plays, Mike, where your reputation allows you to not get punched in the head. Because Duchesne is not the kind of player that's going to run the goaltender over. He just, you see, he loses his balance a little bit when he goes in.
And he's looking up at the big screen to see the replay. Just being shown right now.
You know, to a certain degree, I mean, you can almost read his lips. Mike say, "What am I supposed to do?" And well, unfortunately, what you're supposed to do is anything you can to get out of the way of running the guy over. But I mean, Mike, it's so easy when you watch this. When you watch it and you say, well, why doesn't he just move? He is coming so fast. There's so much going on right here. He thinks he's got around Trouba right there, and then you see how he got caught on one edge and then the other. So he's coming back, and you're out of control. At that point, you're a missile, just flying up the ice. And I mean, no way that he was trying to run him over. But you look at the goals against samples of Hutchinson, Mike. That's pretty tough to keep this guy out of the net. Number 1 in the league. And Mike, he's had 9 starts, right, to this point in the season. 3 at home and 6 on the road. So, I mean, he hasn't been given an easier schedule.
Peter, I think this is the big part of the game right here. 4-on-3 power play for Winnipeg. Up by 1 goal. Penalty on Matt Duchene for goaltender interference. Already McLeod and Ladd in the penalty boxes. So it's 4-on-3 in the Avalanche. Boy, they have just done such a great job this year on penalty kill. Holden at the line, bounced, and it comes free off the boards, just held in by Trouba, sent across for Byfuglien. Well, that was close, right on the line. 4-on-3 for Winnipeg. They have struggled on the power play. 0 for 6 against the Avs this season. Tipped on net, loose puck, bounced, free, and sent back towards the point for Byfuglien. Sent it across for Trouba. Shot to the net, save made by Varlamov. Free puck, sent back towards the point for Trouba. Another minute left in this 4-on-3 situation for Winnipeg. Byfuglien cruising across. Avalanche, 3 defenders out. Shot missed high, comes rattling around the boards. Trouba holds it in. He shoots, and a tip in front by Wheeler. Puck went wide, back to the point for Byfuglien. Talbot, Gannon up front. Trouba walks in and backhands it wide. Wheeler's got it. Back to the point for Byfuglien. Trouba walking in again. Turns behind the net. Lost the puck momentarily. Gave it to Wheeler. 20 seconds left in this situation. Wheeler, pass, Trouba, shoots. Another save by Varlamov. And the Jets have the puck again. But just 12 seconds to go in this situation. Shot by Byfuglien, save made. Loose puck picked up, shot, another save. And Holden has the puck. He's coming up ice. It's a 2-on-1, but he fires it down the ice. And the Avs did it. Wow. That could be a turning point in this game.
Mike, without question.
Buried in by Ladd. He shoots wide of the net. Back to the point. Duchene knocks down Postma, who got right back up with the puck. Hand off to Kane. He shoots back in. A nice save by Varlamov. Wrap around in front of the net. Still loose. Put into the corner. And fire down the ice. What a penalty kill by Colorado. Jets had their big guns out, and the Avs weren't able to change anybody up. They kept them in the zone. Out at center ice, puck picked up by Iginla. Comes in over the line. Tagged along the boards, and the puck freed up, chipped out to center ice. Turned back in, McKinnon with his speed. He'll get to it. He fires and misses. Around back out to center ice. Tip pass, broken up by Barry. Shoots it across the rink. Also, the Avs have a little bit of life after that play, but offside on Colorado. What a penalty kill for Colorado. Long 4-on-3 situation, and the Avs held their ground. Still 2-1 Jets.
Michael, as you mentioned, big sequence for the Avalanche, and their best penalty killer was their goaltender, no question about it. Trouba had a couple of real good opportunities. He's walking in from the point, but one of the things you see here for the Avalanche, Mike, they know how good Semyon Varlamov can be, Mike, so they give the shot. They will give the guy the shot, and they will take the pass. They will take away passing lanes and let him be the guy. But here's an interesting one. With no days rest, his goals against average is the best. And with it, the more rested he is, the higher his goals against average gets. I mean, it just defies logic.
Oh, he's going back-to-back. He played last night in Calgary against the Flames, an overtime loss for the Avalanche. Wheeler, but he had missed 6 games, now playing 2 in a row. Pass to the point. Stewart shot, blocked in front of the net, tipped in the slot, flipped from far side. One-timer, save again by Varlamov. That is now 23 shots in this game for Winnipeg. Trouba has the puck for the Jets. Forced back by O'Reilly. Trouba sends the puck in. Could be an icing call. Oh, waved off. Perreault tangles back behind the net. Forced it free for Frolik to take. Punch back into the corner. Vander Kane circles behind the Avalanche net. Trying to fire it back in front, but it's blocked. Tipped out to center ice. Byfuglien for Winnipeg, backing up. Off the boards for Sherratt, back to Byfuglien. Sends a pass for Frolik. Blocked at the Avalanche line by Colorado. Sherratt tangles up with Duchesne. Frolik shoots the puck back in. Stopped with the glove by Byfuglien. He'll start back behind the net. Forecheck pressure from Tanguay. The pass sent out towards center. It bounces free for Kane. He cuts in. He shoots high. And around the boards. Kept in by Sherratt, the defenseman pinching in. Kick back behind the net. Duchesne gets to the puck. Makes a quick outlet pass. Up ice for Tanguay. Joined on the rush. Pass over the line. Colorado offside.
When you look at this series now from last year to this year, 6 games total, but 3 here. You got Duchesne, Mike, in the shootout, wins it for the Avalanche in overtime, and Brett Aubert's very first game with the Colorado Avalanche, and then last game here, just a little chip up over the head of Semyon Varlamov, 2-1 win for Winnipeg, Mike, but they have played 5 consecutive overtime games, these two clubs.
Right now we are close, 2-1 in favor of Winnipeg. Again, the Avs trying to get their legs going. They're being outshot 23-6. 2 shots in the second period. Hutchinson steals the puck behind the net. Sends it around, blocked by McLeod, but it skimmed past him out to center. Halishuk feeds it on for Lowry. Coming wide, chopped from behind. Stollery checked against the backboards. Halishuk took the puck for Winnipeg. Briere stole it away. Pushed it around the shelf. Overskated by Adam Party, but Halishuk got it back, chasing behind the Avalanche net. Trying to come out in front with the puck. Worked it back off the boards to the side of the net. Jammed around. McLeod catches up to it for Colorado. Out to center ice, off of Talbot. And Party twisting back, slides the puck across for Postman to take. Out to center ice. Backhand ahead by Slater, broken up, then slapped in by Peluso. Avs get it back. Redmond being hounded by Thorburn. Able to bounce it to center ice. Trouba knocked down the puck. Scooped it back into his own zone. Postman off the boards to center ice. Peluso shoots it in for Winnipeg into the Avalanche end. We're midway through the game. 10 minutes to go in the second period. 2-1 lead for Winnipeg. And a pass behind the net. Lifted away, and it does skim out to center ice. Grabbed back by Little. He is stood up at the line by Hayda. Holden to the corner with the puck. Comes free for Vincere. Shoots it across for Redmond. His pass deflects into the Jet zone. Holden coming after Trouba. Plays the puck behind the net. Goes back towards Trouba. Pinballs behind the cage. Outlet pass comes up the ice for Little to take. Poke check by Landeskog. Little recovers the puck. Put it off the boards. Blocked by Landeskog. But the play is offside. And we'll return halfway through the game. Winnipeg leads by a goal. All right, let's see some cold, hard facts brought to you by Coors Light.
Well, 6 consecutive 1-goal games versus Winnipeg. 5 going, the last 5 all going into overtime or shootout. Like, look at the number there. 198 of the 386 games played so far have been 1-goal games.
What we got going right now?
What we got going. The Avalanche have played already 18 1-goal games. 6, 6, and 6 so far this season in those 1-goal games.
You and I, before the game, had a chance to talk with the general manager for the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff, and we were talking about the 1-goal games and how difficult it is and now in the National Hockey League.
It's not. It is really a one play.
Wheeler, backhander, comes wide. Trouba turns and shoots. That deflects wide. Off the glass. Iginla shoots the pass to center, but Landeskog without a stick. Well, that was Trouba. Shoot a pass across for Ladd. Getting through the middle circle. Pass over the line for Blake Wheeler. Shot directed wide by the goaltender Semyon Varlamov. Perreault. Pass picked off. 2-on-1 for the Avalanche. Pass comes to Tanguay. Pulls up. Makes the pass. Deflected away by the goaltender Hutchinson. Perreault dashing back behind the net. Makes the pass for Dustin Byfuglien. 8.5 to go in the second period. 2-1 lead for Winnipeg. Perreault blocked at the line by Stollery. Perreault gets the puck back. Stripped away. Nice play by Duchesne. Cross ice pass for Tanguay. Pass to the point. Shot gets blocked for Leak. Settles the puck down. Pass up ice. Off the boards into the corner. Kane arrived along with Redmond, and Redmond shielded Kane away from the puck. Terrific job there by the defender, Zach Redmond. For Leak cutting across. Back to the point for Byfuglien. Back around the boards. Up the far side. Postma pinching down, but O'Reilly on it. Bouncing puck kept in by Winnipeg. Shot across. Redmond plays it behind the net. And the Avalanche settle things down. Carl Stollery, 7.5 to go in the period. Makes the outlet pass for Redmond. Shoots the puck to center ice. Tanguay, nice pass, back for Stollery. Up the middle, broken up by Winnipeg. And Postma turns back into his own zone. Through the middle with a pass and a tip by Halishuk. Sends the puck into the Avalanche end. Stollery back, winds it around the wall, cut off. Halishuk drags the puck to the corner. Trying to reverse around. Talbot staying with him. Scramble behind the net. Comes free for Lowry. Pass back to the point. Postma slides it across for Party. He shoots, and it's deflected away. Back to the near boards. Down into the corner. Slapped up the wall. And chopped out to center ice by the Avalanche. Taken back by Winnipeg. Scheifele working his way down the boards. Couldn't get around Stollery. Free air for Colorado. Pushed the puck behind the net. Steal by Scheifele in the slot. Shot! Save! Rebound! Still bouncing around in the crease and diving on it. Varlamov saves it. Wow! What a play there by Varlamov. After a turnover, turns into a great scoring chance, and Varlamov again saving the day.
But the first real good opportunity for Winnipeg in a while, Mike. The Avalanche they've calmed this game down. Winnipeg got to 23 shots about 4 or 5 minutes ago. And I thought, boy, 25 shots, that's how many last night Calgary had in the overtime loss for the Colorado Avalanche. And now they've got 25. You still got 6 minutes remaining in this period. So facing more shots, very obviously, in this game. But not real great chances here in the second.
Oh, boy, Peluso. That puck was just bouncing inches away from him sweeping that in. But Varlamov able to get to it. Sherratt around the wall. And the puck comes free. Vincent centers. Pushed across. Back in front. In the slot. Coming down the middle is Gennin. He turns. He shoots. Save. Rebound. Still loose. Still loose. Still bouncing around. And finally Byfuglien comes away with the puck. Pushed it out to center ice. But Gennin sends it right back through the middle for Scarboza. Picked up his first NHL point last night in an assist in the game against Calgary. Byfuglien with a hit on Holden. Slapped at by Holden behind the net. McKinnon takes away the puck. Got a man on him without a stick. And popped out to center ice. 5.5 to go in the second period. 2-1 Winnipeg. They certainly have had their chances to pull away in this game, but the Avalanche hanging in there.
And Mike, this is what you want to do. Make this game as short as possible. Stay within that one play. And then you need, if you get a power play, if you get that odd man break, then you've got to capitalize. Well, here are the 7 games left for the Avalanche until Christmas, Mike, and there are some beauties, no question about it. The 4 home games are all versus Central Division clubs. They got Nashville, St. Louis twice, these same Winnipeg Jets. They got a quick trip out to the East Coast. They play, at Pittsburgh, at Buffalo, much improved since the start of the year, and then Detroit, who just keeps on winning.
And that'll be the next back-to-back situation for the Avalanche. This is the 4th back-to-back series for the Avalanche out of a total of 12. And the Avalanche will have first Pittsburgh, then Buffalo and Detroit going back-to-back on that next road trip for the Avalanche in a couple of weeks. The puck lands on the shelf in the Avalanche zone, drops in the corner. And Eric Johnson carrying the puck towards center, right through the middle. Broken up by Winnipeg, but the Avs get it right back. And it's turned over, carried in by Perreault. Coming in, he dekes, and the puck punched away. Trouba at the point, holds it in for the Jets. Scooped out to center ice. Kane spins, his pass blocked at the Avalanche line. Sent ahead. Shot by Landeskog into the Winnipeg zone. Wound around the wall. O'Reilly gives to Duchesne. Shoots it behind the net. Waiting in the corners, Tanguay. Centered in front. Save made by Hutchinson. Boy, Alex Tanguay. Just the plays he makes. So fun to watch. Carried up ice by Trouba. Carries over the line. Cutting to his right. Into the corner. Gets away from a check. Pass. Deflects Perreault. Shoots it back behind the net for Kane. Can't handle the puck. Redmond got it away. Bouncer out to center ice. Sent ahead, and here's a chance for Tanguay. Postma gets in the way. Allows the puck to get scooped and sent up the wall. Scheifele pass onto the stick of Lowry. Back to Scheifele. He gets checked against the boards by Yennin. Scheifele still with the puck. Duchesne on him. Bouncing into the corner. Scheifele going to feed back into the corner. Does so for Lowry. He lost the puck. Avalanche have got it. They move quickly out to center ice, transitioning through. It is Barry. And he takes a hit. Sends the puck behind the net. And a hit in the corner on Postma by McLeod is answered. And then Scheifele on Talbot. And then Party hits McLeod. McLeod knocks him back. The puck comes across. And carried to center ice by Scheifele. Run at by McLeod. He was going for him.
He was going for him. I'll tell you, Mike, the Avalanche are working really hard right now. I mean, the shots are going to look one way, certainly, but the Avalanche have they stopped the flow by the Winnipeg Jets, and they're starting to get some forechecking going.
That was just such a big penalty kill. Loose puck in front of the net. Comes free. Landeskog ends up with it. Back towards the point for Johnson. He shoots off of the goaltender Hutchinson. Landeskog again to Johnson. Shoots it around the boards. Circles up the near side. Wheeler with Hayda pinching in. Ties him up. McKinnon is able to free up the puck. Centered out in front. Stopped by Byfuglien. Gives to Wheeler. Pass ends up deflected into the Avalanche zone. Winnipeg changing up. Quick outlet pass for Landeskog. Lost the puck to Frolik. Shot across by Trouba for Mark Stewart. To the red line. Lifted in high, and Varlamov hugging the crossbar makes the glove save. And we'll return. There's just 1:40 to go in the second period. Winnipeg leads by 1.
Winnipeg remains ahead 2-1 in this game, Mike, but this is a great example of how this new age hockey can throw your mind off. Look, here's the record of the last 6 games. And in the notes for both teams, for Colorado, it said they've dominated the last 6 games. They're 3-0-3 against Winnipeg. Winnipeg said they've dominated the last 6 games against the Avalanche. They're 3-1-2 because 5 of the games have gone into overtime. That's 17 points that have been put into the standings in these 6 games. Not 12 like you would imagine, but those extra 5 points because of the 5 overtimes.
Avalanche move quickly to center ice. Handoff goes to Duchesne. He shoots. Glove save made by Hutchinson. Luxury has an address. Cooney Lexus invites you to see the full line of Lexus all-weather drive sedans and luxury utility vehicles for 2014. They're available at Cooney Lexus of Greenwood Village and Colorado Springs. Duchesne against Perreault for the faceoff. And the toss Perreault out of the faceoff circle. Vander Kane. Pair of nines facing off here late in the period. And Duchesne had it for a moment, but it slides free. 2-on-1. Frolik. Pass, trailer, shot, missed. Didn't even hit the net. And the puck comes back the other way for the Avalanche. Carried up ice by Redmond over the line for Tanguay, but it deflects and out of play.
Mike, this is one of those plays that the puck's coming out to the point, they win the draw, and it just chips up and over, and Kane coming flying through the middle. And you're right, I mean, he missed the net by a considerable margin. But just a quick 2-on-1. Unless that hit something on the way through, but it just looks like he missed his shot.
Johnson gets it over the line for Barry. He winds, he shoots high. And the puck circles the boards out to center ice. And we approach the final minute of the second period. Talbot sends it over the line, broken up by Sherratt and squeezed through. Puck lands in the Avalanche zone. Halishuk coming after it, and Johnson fires it down the ice. And the Avs are called for icing.
Well, Michael, it's one of those situations for the Avalanche. They weathered that storm. As you mentioned, you talked about it at the time, like the fact that it's a 4-on-3 at the time. If they get that goal right then, what's going to happen to the Avalanche? They didn't. Varley was great. And now the game is very even the last 5-7 minutes in the second period.
Certainly is. And then Winnipeg had another chance there on that 3-on-1 and did not score. Shot tipped, scored. Well, they scored there. And it is a 3-1 lead for Winnipeg. After all those chances, then they get one in the final minute on a tip in front of the net.
And Mike, let's look. The only hope, Mike, where is Ladd's stick when this is tipped? I mean, that Mike, he was coming across, and it
will it be reviewed?
Oh, absolutely, it will be reviewed. Because he's coming down, there's no question. Maybe I'm just begging for something that's not there, but
they'll review it, make sure his stick was not above the crossbar when he made contact with the puck. So we saw earlier what Winnipeg thought they had scored. Avalanche thought Varlamov had made a save. There was review.
And here it is.
And it was
watch the stick.
Well, this one. Oh,
yeah. See
boy.
that
might be.
I mean,
it's going to be very close.
It's going to be looked at. Remember that it's the crossbar. It used to be shoulders, and there were some funny goals.
It counts, Peter.
Yeah.
They've already signaled they count.
They just won't listen to us.
Not a bit.
Maybe they changed their number. You know, we got to call back.
Yep. Well, big goal for Winnipeg. Getting in the final minute, they've had so many chances during that period to increase their lead, and they finally get it done. And Andrew Ladd, their captain, getting it done, giving Winnipeg a 3-1 advantage. 20 seconds still to go in the period. Let's give you our Connect for Health scoring summary. Coming at 19-15, ninth of the year for Ladd. Ben Sherratt, Brian Little with the assist for Sherratt, just called up. McKinnon shot gets blocked, so Sherratt gets his first point. And Little with his second point of the period. They go along with the goal. So Winnipeg, last minute goal on a deflection by Andrew Ladd. And they'll take a 2-goal lead into the third period. Big goal for Winnipeg, although Varlamov, well, he was busy and he was good.
He was busy, he was good, but Mike, it is a disheartening goal. There's just no way to get around it because they started to turn things around the other way. So if he got in that locker room without that goal, it's okay, yes, let's go. But now you're really going to need somebody to have a big third period.
We played 40 minutes in Winnipeg, and the Jets are leading by 2 by a score of 3-1. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Coming up on Altitude, the Subaru Intermission Report. Second period goal by the Winnipeg Jets has given them a 2-goal advantage to take into the start of the third period of play. And Peter, you look at what the Avalanche are facing right here in this situation. They played last night. The Jets scored that last minute goal to go up by 2. Just some thoughts on what the Avs need to do at the start of this period.
Well, a lot of time you're looking for a player or a line to be that go-to situation in the third period. So anytime you're saying that, you're automatically thinking about your top 2 lines. Somebody's got to come on. The guy that seems to be skating the best for the Avalanche tonight is Duchesne. He seems to have some real good jumps. So maybe Patrick Roy double shifts, because the Avalanche have 3 days off after this game, so it's whatever you have to do in this third period.
All right, let's look at our Lexus on the ice and talk about the goaltenders that we have seen so far tonight.
Well, I think both goaltenders have played well. For Varley, got a little unlucky on that last one, but he made a bunch of big saves, especially on that 4-on-3 power play. He was terrific for the Avalanche. But boy, I've been impressed with Hutchinson. You know, you can see a real smooth to his game. I'm not sure if on McInnes he didn't get maybe a little piece of that, but he's big in the nets. He's very smooth coming left to right. And you know, at the start of the season, no question for the Winnipeg Jets, the #1 question wasn't the defense, wasn't the goal scoring, and maybe they should have had a little more concern with that because it's been a tough year as far as putting, you know, numbers up for the Avalanche. I mean, for the Jets, but they're goaltending. Both of them, they're terrific.
Sets up an interesting third period, and if the Avs score in this period, you score with Subway. Visit your local Subway restaurant tomorrow for any regular 6-inch sub for just $3 after 3 o'clock. Third period underway. Avalanche have the puck. Taken away by Frolik. Hayda kept it in momentarily. Then a pass comes out towards center ice for Kane. Shoots it across. Blocked by the Avs. Bounce back. Sherratt picked up a point on the assist on the goal by Andrew Ladd in the last minute of the period. They give the Jets this 2-goal lead right now that they're enjoying. Chased in the corner by Wheeler. Centering pass. Shot. Score! It is 4-1 on the goal by Brian Little. His second goal and third points of the game. 45 seconds left in the second period. The Jets score. 45 seconds into the third period. The Jets score. And it's 4-1. Boy, just that quickly, Peter, you take a 2-1 game and you change it.
I mean, because, you know, and again, what were the Avalanche trying to do? You and I talked about it. They're trying to get into that third period just down 2-1 because there have been lots of shots on net, lots of action in around Varlamov. They easily could have been down 4-1 at that, but they weren't. And then, as you said, boom, boom, just a deflection. And now just a real nice shot by Little, and the Avalanche are really behind the 8 ball.
All right, let's give you our Subway scoring summary. The Avalanche now trail by a score of 4-1. Little just 45 seconds in with his second goal of the game. Blake Wheeler gets an assist. There's another goal for Winnipeg. I think it's Little again, Peter. That's a hat trick for Brian Little. Now there's some argument going on around the net, but that goal's going to count. And it's a hat trick, second in his career for Brian Little. And the Jets are up 5-1, and the Hats are raining it down on the ice here in Winnipeg.
And here comes Reto Berra for the Colorado Avalanche to replace Semyon Varlamov. And just good work by this line, Mike. You can see when they're, as you mentioned earlier, Mike, when they're on their game, that's a perfect example of how this night is going. Varley sees the puck. He goes to grab it, and the defenseman for the Avalanche foot drags the puck away from him. So he's down, committed to going forward, and Little pops it up and over.
And the defenseman just turned to try to get to Little.
Exactly.
He didn't see the puck.
The defenseman is doing exactly what he's supposed to do.
Yep.
But he drags the puck away from Semyon Varlamov. So instead, Varlamov goes to put his hands down on the puck. Instead, it squirts out, and he's already down. Yeah, Berra is down.
Semyon Varlamov has been taken out of the game. Reto Berra is coming in, Peter, as the crowd continues to cheer. They don't see Berra warming up, and this is, without a doubt, no reflection on Semyon Varlamov's effort tonight.
And one of the reasons the fans are cheering, Mike, they don't see this very often. This is 5 goals inside of a game for a club that came into tonight's game 29th in the league in goals scored. So this is... And another thing, Mike, and you know, unfortunately, you got to state it, coming into tonight's game, the Avalanche were 6 behind Winnipeg in that wild card chase, and now it's going to be 8. You know, unless the Avalanche can come back, and they're going to be 8 points out of that wild card berth, and then they've got Nashville coming to town, this Winnipeg club, and then St. Louis. So it's not getting any easier.
5-1, 3 goals for Brian Little, 2 of them coming in the first minute and 17 seconds of this third period for Little. His 9th, 10th, and 11th goals of the season. And it's 5-1. And Two teams, Peter, that have played such close games in the past couple of years. And this one has just exploded in the favor of Winnipeg. It was a 2-1 hockey game. And you go back to that breakaway chance for Nathan MacKinnon.
How about
you
this?
think you score there, and maybe the whole thing changes in this game. But they didn't score. And then the Jets get a very late second period goal, get an early third period goal, add another one. And all of a sudden you go from what could have been a 2-2 battle going on to it's a 4-goal lead for Winnipeg. That's the way hockey works.
And it's so rare now that the players almost don't know how to react to these kind of leads because they're usually 1-goal games. And Mike, we just told a little note. Here's a line right here, Mike, that has done so well tonight for the Winnipeg Jets. Wheeler, Ladd, and Little. We expected Wheeler. Little, of course, scored the game winner in overtime last game, so that's 4 goals now in the 2 games that he's had against the Avalanche.
You see those 193 points for Wheeler. More points than anybody else for this Jets team since they moved from Atlanta. And it's 5-1, a 30-11 shot advantage for the Winnipeg Jets. The Avs had 4 shots in the first period, 5 in the second. And trail in this game 5-1. Eric Johnson makes a handoff to Jan Hejda. A steal at center ice. Brought in by Frolik. His pass broken up. If you want any sort of glimmer of hope, if you think, all right, is there any chance here for the Avalanche? Here you go back to that game against the Philadelphia Flyers when the third period started. The Avalanche were down 4-0 in that game, scored 3 goals to make a comeback.
Like how interesting is this hat trick for Brian Little? Brian Little got a hat trick. That is the first hat trick by a Winnipeg Jets since they returned to Winnipeg. The very first one.
The team the longest stretch without a hat trick of any team in the NHL.
I believe so, and it's over tonight. Yeah, the Avalanche got a pretty good one going. It's been a while since Matt Duchene's hat trick in Dallas.
Byfuglien, shot, save made by Berra, covers the loose puck.
And again, for the Avalanche, Mike, they do have a couple of days off to sort of get things, think these things through. And again, it's one of those situations, Mike, where you just you see what you think you did wrong in this game, and then you just come out and battle against a Nashville club. And there's another club to be interesting to see play. We haven't seen them this year, and they're having a great year.
I think you put them and Calgary as the 2 most surprising teams in the National Hockey League. Teams that you did not expect to be as good, or at least have as good a record as they have right now. Those are your 2 teams in the NHL, would you say?
And maybe on the other side, maybe a little bit the New York Islanders.
Oh, and right over in the Eastern Conference for sure, the New York Islanders.
Because there was a club that missed the playoffs last year, and they're setting records, best records after 21 games and 22 games inside of that organization. That's pretty impressive. But Mike, you and I have watched this Winnipeg club play and marveled at the fact that they weren't a playoff contender, or that they couldn't get it going, because they do seem to have so many parts. Maybe the last part was just the goaltending, and now that it's solidifying itself, maybe the whole thing's moving forward.
They're missing some key defensemen right now for Paul Maurice's club, but they've been impressive in this game, and the Avalanche will get another look at them next Thursday in Denver.
Yeah, you got Bogosian out, Blitzham, and Engstrom, and each one of them might play on a different defensive pair. So I mean, you got key guys, and they've done a nice job here tonight. The new guys that are getting more ice time.
On the point, Holden with the puck. By the way, a penalty has been called on Winnipeg. Peluso, a tripping penalty at 3:59, and the Avalanche, this is their first power play opportunity of the game. The last 2 games, Peter, the Avs have had only 1 power play opportunity, and this is the first one tonight. Briere shot goes wide. Around the boards, kept in by the Avs. Holden shoots it into the corner. Now the Avs score on the power play. Lucky winner will get Avalanche tickets to an upcoming game, courtesy of American Lifestyle Furniture. Go to afwonline.com/altitude. (5-1) Winnipeg. Tyson Barrie. Pass to Redmond. Tipped away. Jets have it. Move it in. Shorthanded is Wheeler. Dropped it for Evander Kane. He shoots. Blocked. Another shot. That stopped in front by O'Reilly. Makes a pass up ice for Duchesne. Duchesne takes a hit. Gets the puck into the center circle. Johnson shoots it ahead. Chases the puck himself. A wave going around here at the building in Winnipeg. You said, Peter, they haven't seen many 5-goal nights here in this building. And in which they were the ones scoring the 5 goals.
When we were talking with Kevin earlier, general manager for the Winnipeg Jets, even he said, he used the word playoffs. They want a playoff series. They desperately want that.
Duchesne gets tackled. That'll be a penalty. It sets up a 5-on-3 situation. There's 13 seconds left in Peluso's tripping penalty. And now the Jets take another penalty.
Number 2, 2 minutes, tripping.
Oh, Matt Duchesne again. Mike, he has skated well in this game, and I think all the years is that extra work that he has done in the offseason. The fact that he's grown into his man's body, NHL man's body. He's able to keep these things going in these games because he's had that extra step in this game.
With the puck along the far side. Barrie, 5-on-3 for the Avalanche. Cutting across Barrie. They give to Johnson. Shot stopped by Hutchinson. He covers. The puck, it comes free. Still bouncing around. And some pushing, some shoving ensues. And then McLeod gets knocked down. He gets right back up, of course. And he's trying to get at and he finally does. He broke through a couple of players. Then Trouba looks like he's dropping the gloves with Talbot. And they're wrestling with each other. That seems to be the main bout right now. Everybody else standing and watching. And McLeod reaches in to grab that same player that was tussling at Trouba, that was tussling with Talbot. Some other dance partners hooking up right now as well. Looks like things are finally calming down, settling down, if you will. McLeod and Slater start to push each other a little bit. And now we got another thing developing. Slater is going to drop the gloves with Talbot. Here we go. Now we got some punches thrown. Right by Talbot. Slater holds him off with that left hand. Talbot wrestling back with Slater. They exchange right hand punches. A quick jab with the right hand by Talbot. An uppercut by Talbot. Then Slater punches him right back. They continue to dance inside the face-off circle. The linesmen have been busy trying to separate other players. They've let this one go for a long time. Boy, this has gone on for a while. And then Slater and Talbot go down to the ice.
You know why you let it go,
the linesmen to say, all right, you're done. We're going to separate you.
You know why you let it go. Unless someone's taken, is really winning it, you let them go. You let them exhaust themselves. They got nothing left now. I mean, you're completely gassed after one of those.
Now McLeod and Stewart are starting to get at each other. But here's how it began, Peter. Right after the save was made by Hutchinson.
Well, Stewart punched
McLeod right in the head.
Punched him right in the head, and then Talbot.
Oh, Peter, we got another thing happening out at center ice. McLeod and Peluso are starting to go at it. The linesman and the referee is going to try to have to separate. Now, boy, this sets something up for next week. Remember, these two teams get together in less than a week. Now, Cody McLeod was very busy. I think he tangled with everybody on the ice except the goaltender during that little sequence.
And he almost got away with it. He almost got away scot-free because he...
Well, Cody McLeod grew up here in Manitoba in this province. And he takes a seat in the Avalanche penalty box along with Max Talbot. And we'll wait to see what the full announcement is of these penalties. 13:51 to go in the third. Jets leading 5-1. Avalanche on the power play for the second time in the game. But we'll see if there's going to change.
Well, if Talbot got in with Trouba a fight, then he got in with Slater, he's gone. I mean, you can't have a second. Here, he's going by. Now here comes Peluso. Peluso chased him down and came across. Now that's, I mean, is that not instigating? I mean, in a situation like this?
Seems like it.
You're tangled up with the linesman. You're being escorted to the thing, and a guy comes across.
He tries to instigate a fight. Peluso is currently sitting in the penalty box.
But Peluso is, I mean, in a game like this is one of those things like you're going to do that because there's nothing to lose. I mean, you just want to make sure that everybody's standing up on both sides.
The two captains, Andrew Ladd, Gabe Landeskog, standing outside the little half circle in front of the penalty box area. Now they move away. Ladd going to the Winnipeg bench and Landeskog on his way to the Colorado bench. And that linesman is Brad Lazarowicz talking with Coach Patrick Waugh.
Patrick Waugh, I happened to be watching some old fights, and I was watching the Montreal Canadiens Philadelphia Flyers fight when Claude Lemieux pushed the puck into the nets, and the Flyers didn't want it to happen. And Patrick, of course, was the goaltender for the Montreal Canadiens. I looked at the time in the corner, 13 minutes there. 13 minutes of everybody on the ice before the game started. So, and I mean, we're there. I mean, some Brown and Nyland. There was stuff going on. There was.
Well, when that little skirmish started, the Avalanche were on a power play. We're waiting to see if anything's going to change.
I'll be interested to see what they said. What Talbot and Trouba. You got to watch yourself in those situations. You start swinging a referee around and he falls.
Yep. You accidentally punch one.
There's
big trouble.
That's the biggest no-no in the league. You cannot touch, and you shouldn't be able. I mean, it has to be 100% understood. No matter how mad you get, they are completely out of bounds. There's no excuse at all. You can report something you think isn't okay at the end, but once that happens, then all heck breaks loose.
Well, it looks like it's now going to go to a 5-on-3 situation. So perhaps the extra penalty. Well, wait a minute. Now a player coming over the boards.
He's going to the box.
But he's going over the penalty box. It's Halachuk. It's a crowded box for Winnipeg. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and now he makes 5. There's no seat for Halachuk. Somebody's got to stand. So they got 4 sitting. Now they squeeze him in. And Barrett is pulled. So how about this? We got a 6-on-3 situation. 6-on-3 for the Avalanche. They pull Barrett. Save made. And Byfuglien looks for the empty netter and misses. Coming back to get it is Barry. So extra penalty was given to Winnipeg during that skirmish. Patrick Waugh pulls his goaltender, making it 6 skaters for the Avs, 3 for the Jets. Shot saved by Hutchinson. From behind the net, Briere makes the pass for Duchesne. Back to the blue line for Barry. Top of the circle, gives to Johnson. Exchanges position with Barry. One-timer, and it deflects out of play. Ginla was in front of the net. Hutchinson, or Ginla, had that puck go off them and out of play. Leaving 50 seconds remaining in this 6-on-3 situation.
And I love the fact the Avalanche are just shooting. Too many times in this, you can start to try to make that perfect play. You've got everybody outnumbered by 2. It's a 2-on-1 in every situation. So you should be able to win those battles. Get the puck on net. They're trying to make sure they let the right guy out at the right time. It's not like you can choose.
Good win on the face-off for the Avalanche, so they control. In 6-on-3, shot by O'Reilly. Did they hit the post? It's something in front. Comes free for Barry. O'Reilly knocked down, rolls to the far side wall. Barry handles the puck, gives to Johnson. Down low for Duchesne. There's a play without a stick. So not only the Jets down a man, but Byfuglien has it 6-on-2 basically right now. 6-on-2. Byfuglien's got a stick though. He went to the bench and got one. Shot gets blocked. Comes across for O'Reilly. Back to the point for Johnson. He shoots. Deflected wide. Bounced off the referee. Comes to Briere. Over towards Duchesne. Duchesne, top of the circle. To the point for Johnson. Down low. Shot. Barry walks in. Deeks. He shoots. Blocked. It is picked up by the Jets. They come to center. Looking for the empty netter. O'Reilly without a stick, but he blocked it. No stick, and he got in the way.
And Little was going for number 4.
He sure was. And next penalty is over. How about that? Jets stop to 6-on-3. Bear is back in the net, by the way. So now it's even strength, 5-on-5. But the Jets stopped a 6-on-3 situation. Barra knocked down by Perreault. Into the corner for Wheeler. They give to Kane. Spins the puck around. Back to the point for Sherratt. Put it into the corner. Wheeler gets checked. Cut off by Kane. To the point for Sherratt. Shoots it around the wall. Perreault will pick up the puck. Puts the puck in the corner for Kane. Centering try. Cut off by Erik Johnson. And we're close to 11 minutes left to go in this game. 5-1 lead for the Jets. Centering pass for Iginla gets blocked. Worked free by Wheelers. Steal made. Shot by Tanguay. Deflects wide. Shot. There are 2 broken sticks still on the ice. O'Reilly feeds a pass to Stollery. He shoots. That's blocked. Scooped up by Blake Wheeler. And the puck is shot down the ice. Handled by Stollery. Sgarboza skates in. Backhands it around. Byfuglien. Well, during that sequence, shot gets blocked, trickles across. It was a 6-on-3, and then the broken stick by Byfuglien. It was for a few seconds there, Peter. It was a 6-on-2. Meanwhile, Sgarboza getting into it a little bit with Byfuglien. Now Sgarboza wants to drop the gloves with Adam Pardy. And they go towards the corner. The linesmen, though, are quick to make sure that it doesn't escalate. Meanwhile, Vincere grabbed around the neck by Byfuglien in front of the net. Byfuglien's got a good headlock on him. Meanwhile, you see Sgarboza being spun and pushed towards the penalty box area. Byfuglien grabbing hold of the mask of the shield, if you will, of Gabe Landeskog and pulling on that. Boy, how long, Peter, has it been since we've seen a game like this that is just erupted in the third period?
Years.
With fights and penalties. It's been a long, long time since we've seen one of these.
We got 10 minutes left.
Oh, absolutely.
Referee's got to start tossing. Just start, you 3 are gone.
Yep. Well, 6-on-3 for the Avs, not able to score. We have more penalties to talk about when we come back. Well, Peter, 5-1 lead for the Jets, and we're seeing all kinds of things happening here in the third period.
Okay,
it's a 6-on-3. Goalie is pulled, and O'Reilly stops the empty netter.
And that's part 1. Part 2. Now we're changing Barra on the fly. Barra comes back in net. And then Sgarboza, he gets sort of stood over it, and Byfuglien doing his thing right there. It's, pretending like he can't get out of the way. And then Sgarboza, he was all set to go. There's a situation, and then there was more pushing and shoving at the end. I love this. Look at the lines and say, well, this guy's come out this time. We're going to have to wait till this whistle after this. Then we'll let 3 more of your guys out. And if by that time there's anybody else in here, we'll have to make a decision. That's kind of how that conversation went. But as you said,
Landeskog had to come over and explain it to Patrick Wall. Right? Here's who's in the box, here's who's come out, at what time, and here's the situation. So right now,
As back on the power play.
back on the power play indeed.
Colorado, number 43, Michael Scarboza, a 10-minute misconduct. And Winnipeg, number 2, Adam Hardy, 2 minutes for holding and a 10-minute misconduct.
So the difference after that skirmish between Scarboza and Party gets an extra 2 minutes. That's the reason for the power play chance again for the Avalanche. Redmond walks in, pass, scored by the Avalanche, and that is Jarome Iginla with his second goal of the game, and Hutchinson arguing that he was interfered with, but the goal will stand up, and it's a 5-2 game on a power play goal by Jarome Iginla. And Hutchinson, boy, he was necked. Right there.
Yeah, the referee is saying that he got knocked into. But Michael, it is, Mike, we do have 9:36 remaining in what has now become a very wild game. Anything can happen at this point. Now Scarboza is still in the penalty box, but I think
well, he got a 10 minutes.
He got 10 minutes. I guess if the game were to go into overtime, he would be eligible to return.
All right, the Avs score, you win with Subway. Go to your local Subway restaurant tomorrow for any regular 6-inch sub for $3 after 3. Second goal of the game for Iginla, Redmond, and Landeskog get the assist on the power play goal for Colorado. Duchesne moves the puck up ice. And it would be something if that block by O'Reilly comes into play later in this game. I brought it up earlier, but Peter, on that trip east earlier this season, Avs were down by 4 goals when the third period began, came roaring back to make it a game, and ended up unfortunately losing 4-3. But the Avs have added a goal here in the third period, now trail by 3. Way back in the first period, we asked you a question. This is our Did You Know question, brought to you by Stevenson Automotive. What team won the most Avco Cups in the World Hockey Association? And the answer, the Winnipeg Jets, including the last 2 of the World Hockey Association.
And Mike, a way better hockey was played in the World Hockey Association than people want to remember. They always thought it was sort of a slap shot type league. There were some good players.
Peter, for 4 years, my father had season tickets to the Indianapolis Racers. I saw a lot of WHA games. It was fun to watch. Great hockey.
You saw a lot of games like this.
I did, believe me. About 4 hours later, Dad, you want to go home? No. Kim Clacton's going to get in another fight.
It was like watching the games at Coors Field early with all the home runs.
Absolutely.
You never knew what was going to happen.
A lot of great memories, though, for me as a kid. The net is moved as the goaltender Michael Hutchinson backed into it. And we got to stop with 8:17 to go. Jets up 5-2. Jarome Iginla has both the goals tonight for the Avalanche.
And, just talking with people in Calgary last night, they're just saying it came into last night's game with 5 points in the previous 5 games. Now make that, 7 points in 7 games now for Jarome Iginla. Would have been nice if you got one last night. He would have been every team in the league.
How about one? They had 3 shots right near the end of the game.
Exactly.
To try to get it tied. No icing on the play. Puck comes winding around the boards to the near side. Pass turned over. Perreault, backhander, and a save by Barra. Shot by Kane. Deflects and hits the screen out of play. Well, the Avalanche are going to take some chances. And sometimes when you do that, Peter, right, you're going to give up the puck.
Oh, yeah, everybody has to be on the go. I mean, you're looking for plays to be complete. You're not, sometimes when it's a 2-2 game, you're just making sure that the puck is off the boards enough. When you're down by 3, you got to be trying stuff. If it doesn't work, well, one more goal isn't going to be the end of it.
Tyson Barrie moving out to center ice. And the puck will carry him to the corner. Little's been the star tonight for Winnipeg with a hat trick. Chasing the puck, comes free for Wheeler. He's got 3 assists in this game. A race ahead by Ladd. Turned back the other way. Iginla for Colorado. Skates in. Pass down the slot, looking for a tip from Landeskog. Shot right back in front by O'Reilly and covered after making the save by Michael Hutchinson, the Winnipeg goaltender.
For O'Reilly, a couple assists in last night's game. It was one of those games like where, you know, sometimes you're just on the ice for everything. He was on the ice for 6 of the 7 goals in that game last night. I mean, talking about being part of the action.
Hayda drills one, shot, and a save by Hutchinson, robbing Alex Tanguay.
Ooh, Michael, that
would have made it very interesting. Still time though, 7:18 to go in the Avalanche. Well, we talked about, Peter, a couple of times already about that Philadelphia game, and what happened in that game is the Flyers stopped skating.
Yeah.
And it's hockey nature almost. You get up by that big a lead, a lot of teams will just stop skating thinking it's in the bag, it's over.
Well, this one's had a different feel. It got a little crazy, and now the Avalanche get that one, and you know, certainly it's got to come in the next few minutes.
Shot from the point by Sherratt, gets blocked, comes back to the point for Sherratt, slides it across for Byfuglien. Shot, save made by Barrett. It's an interesting period of hockey for Barrett as the puck goes right by him on the shot by Byfuglien. That makes it 3 games in a row for a goal with a goal for Dustin Byfuglien. I was just about to say for Barrett, sure he feels he's got something to prove here in this period, and just as I say it, the puck whizzes right by him to make it 6-2.
Now what happens on this shot? Did this bounce or something? Because it was coming out to Byfuglien. He was heading out of the zone. It's being cleared around right here, and it's like he steps into it.
Oh boy, that thing was skipping like a rock on a pond.
Here it goes once, boom, up and just right by Barrett. Because it was rolling out to Byfuglien, and he hits the puck so hard, it just skipped up and over his shoulder.
But as you pointed out, Peter, that was a funny motion, because first you're going backwards, then you're stepping back to try to keep it in play.
But you can see the strength of Byfuglien, couldn't you, on that? Because you're off balance, and he was able to wire it.
That was like skipping a stone through the water, and it goes in. And for Byfuglien, make it a 3-game goal-scoring streak for the big guy. Briere shoots, tipped on net, saved by Hutchinson. And Scheifele to center, chip off the glass. 6 minutes left to go in the game. Pass comes across for Byfuglien. Freed up the puck. Thrown out in front. Kept in. Shot goes wide of the net. You want to kind of complete this thought, though, even though that puck went in, and that was a tricky one for any goaltender. But if you're Reto Berra, last couple of starts you get pulled. Then you're watching Calvin Pickard play real well.
Yep.
Then Varlamov comes back. And I think you get a chance to come into this game, and these guys are competitors. Reto Berra's a competitor. He wants to show his coaching staff something here in this third period with this chance.
Michael, absolutely. And you know, because there's so much work that's going on. You work so hard. And you want to have your team to have confidence in you. So you're going to do everything you can.
Puck is tipped into the Avalanche bench. We've got 5 minutes left to go in the game. In Winnipeg, the Jets in command. They lead it by 4.
Well, Michael, take this moment to congratulate Brendan McNicholas and his wife Emer. They had their first little baby boy, Keevan, a name I'm sure that you'll appreciate.
Great Irish name, Peter. Great. I love the Irish name. And I knew Brendan would do that. That's wonderful.
And I know how excited and nervous Brendan was. You know, that first boy and, you know, our first child. And he was saying, and the first thing I recommended, sleep. Make sure that you get your sleep, because there's a lot of work.
McKinnon with the puck. Congratulations to the Nicholases and their new baby boy. That's wonderful. 6-2 lead here for the Jets with 4:48 to go in the third period. And for the Jets, well, They're going to go to 4-0-1 in the last 5 games, and they got to feel good about themselves. And this right now is an area and a franchise. Peter, they've only been to the playoffs 1 time, and that was when Bob Hartnett was coaching them, and they were swept in the first round. But that's it. That's when they were the Atlanta Thrashers.
And you take it a step farther, Mike. They started the season 2-5. Since that start, in the last 18 games, if you include tonight's game, Mike, that's 12-4-4. So they're playing good, consistent hockey.
Peter, we were here on October 26th for that game, which Winnipeg did win in overtime. But there was a sense in the community like, oh boy, this isn't going well right now.
It's not working. You know, you almost got that sense that, you know, they have to change some things.
Yep.
And Mike, it's like so many things in hockey, or maybe baseball with the pitching and football with the quarterback. They're getting goaltending now, and that's just changed everybody's outlook.
4 minutes to go in this game. 37 shots for Winnipeg, 21 for the Avalanche. Hutchinson out to play the puck. He gave it away. Pass in front for Holden. Shot kept in by the Avalanche in the Winnipeg zone. Behind the net, Sherratt to Byfuglien. Field around the boards. A couple of players for the Avalanche. Cody McLeod, Michael Scarboza sitting in the penalty box, both serving 10-minute misconduct penalties. And Anthony Peluso doing the same for the Winnipeg Jets. There to center ice by Jacob Trouba. Avalanche in this game 1 for 4 on the power play opportunities. While Winnipeg 0 for 3. 3 minutes to go in the game. There'll be 3 more games between these two teams, and a little bad blood happening here in this game, setting up next Thursday, and then after that, 2 more times these teams will get together. Kane chasing the puck. It is funny, we get put in the same division, you increase the amount of games, and you start to develop a little hate.
Oh yeah, Mike, absolutely. And you know, you're always wondering who that club is going to be. There's a rivalry between the Avalanche and the Blackhawks, but it's a speed rivalry. Yeah. The games are
I don't
great.
feel like there's hate between the two. It's just great hockey to watch.
Well, it's pretty fast hockey. Some people would call this great hockey. You know what I mean? It's certainly a skilled hockey at its NHL best. But Mike, there's you know, your fan club in Detroit will tell you there was nothing like the rivalry you had with the Detroit Red Wings.
Well, there's a case of hate and great hockey.
Yeah, as good as it maybe ever was, as far as all the skilled players and all complete hatred at the same time. It was hard to match.
Pass behind the net for Mark Stewart. Outlet pass to center ice for Thorburn. He's the one who started the scoring tonight. Shoots off the side of the net. It bounced out in front. Hayden takes it for the Avalanche. Outlet pass. Sent across for Duchesne. To Johnson. Back to Duchesne. Johnson shoots, saved by Hutchinson. Sherratt swings the puck around. Johnson puts a shoulder into Lowry. And then shoots the puck down the ice with 70 seconds to go in this game. Brian Little, certainly one of the big stories tonight. Ooh, that took a funny bounce off of Hutchinson. But cleared away by the Jets. He's got a hat trick for Winnipeg. And his goals, not only, Peter, one thing, you score 3 goals, that's a big game no matter what. But the time of his second and third goals changed the whole game tonight.
It went from okay, let's go into the third period. We're getting outshot, but we've worked really hard since we killed off a really important 4-on-3. You can see they were starting to come together, and bang, those 2 goals in 45 short of the end, 45 after it started. That was it.
Trouba pick up the puck, wings it around the boards, and we are down to the last 45 seconds of the game. Play has come to a halt while the face-off in the Winnipeg zone. Go for the Avalanche. Some days off. Don't get going again on the ice in terms of game time. until next Tuesday against the Central Division leading Nashville Predators. So it's almost for the Avalanche. Get some time to regroup. And the other part, Peter, you just hope for the Avs start to get a little healthy. You've got so many guys. They give you the list here. I mean, you're looking at Mitchell, Street, McGinn, Stewart, Winchester, Cleach.
Michael, you know what you're missing?
Everberg.
Yeah.
All guys that you hope can come back and help.
You know what you're missing? That group, I did the numbers. That group is about 212 pounds average. The Avalanche tonight, 201. So that's a lot of, the bigger players for the Avalanche not available.
Well, the Winnipeg Jets are going to celebrate. They've got the victory. And with Brian Little leading the way with a hat trick, they've beaten the Avalanche 6-2. And for the Avs, they go on the road for this 2-game road trip through Canada. Peter, come back with 1 out of possible 4 points because of their overtime loss last night in Calgary. They did get a point.
Yeah, and Mike, we've seen it now. We're at the third of the season. We played 27 games. It's an 82-game season. Basically, this is the 1/3 mark. And inside of that, you can see what certain things mean to certain teams. And that rested club, that's been the one consistent so far this first third of the year.
Yep. The Avalanche now 0-3-1 when they play that second game of back-to-back. They lose tonight by a score of 6-2. Please join us again Tuesday night. The Avalanche will be home, start a 3-game home stand. They'll start it against the Nashville Predators. Let's get to the studio in time for the Auto Nation Toyota Locker Room Report.